Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Setharoth, and today we will be starting a new run on Crusader Kings 2. This was inspired by the announcement that Crusader Kings 3 is coming out in 3 months, and I wanted to get back into it and kind of get back into the swing of things and how the game works before Crusaders 3 comes out, because this is one of the most different games I've ever encountered. I've done some StarCraft 2 in the past, so like real-time strategy games, Age of Empires, that kind of stuff growing up, I really enjoyed. But Crusader Kings comes at such a unique perspective to running a dynasty and thriving in medieval times. I've really enjoyed playing it. I've done a couple of runs, and this run that I want to do today is the Scrooge McDuck run. So this is the safest and richest start in the known world with Crusader Kings 2. I know with Crusader Kings 3 you're actually going to be able to start a couple hundred years earlier in the timeline, which gives you more time to grow and expand, but this is going to be the earliest and richest start you can do in Crusader Kings 2, and you can actually make more money than emperors. And that is, after that point, that's when you move and start expanding, because at that point you can bribe, you can buy armies, you can reshape the world. So we're going to be starting a new single player game. And we're going to start here. We're going to go for the earliest timeline we can possibly do, and we're doing a custom game setup. So we're going to be looking right over here in Francia. When you're looking at the economic perspective, because you want a rich start, things are a little different. The richest cities that you can find in Crusader Kings 2 are ones that are coastal. Coastal cities, you can't really see from here. Once we get in the game, I'll show you a little more clearly. Cities that are on the coast can build not only markets but also ports. They make twice as much money. So you're looking for a duchy with as many countries or as many counties with shoreline as you possibly can. Byzantine Empire, capital of Byzantium, is one of those. It has 6 districts that all have ports, right? So they make a lot of money. And I've tried that start, like right at the get-go, jumping right into the Byzantine Empire. It is nuts. It is difficult, to say the least. So if you're like an intermediate player, or you're going for just the gold, build up as much wealth as you can, and then expand, this is the start I recommend. We're going to be building out of the Duchy of Flanders. One of the reasons is this duchy, when we expand, we're going to have to take these 2 counties to top it off. But you're going to have 5 out of 6 of these counties are all coastal. You can make so much money. It's great. You're going to be able to outbid the king on whatever he wants once you get up and built up. So we're going to start with this gentleman here, but we're going to use the ruler designer so that we can do a little bit of work here. First off, the important things we're going to want. Our first name for this run is going to be Scrooge. And if you haven't guessed already, the dynasty name is McDuck, because we are going for the gold, literally. Now, I like to start off with 1 son, because this is Crusader Kings 2, and you die a lot. Death is common in this game. Dying of old age is quite rare. So we're going to start off with a son as kind of to hedge my bets if I get killed. We're culture. Now, you can marry into the Celtic culture and then cross over, but just because I'm focusing on more of a wealth run instead of a lot of micromanagement, we're going to start off in the Scottish culture and the Catholic religion, because I want all my neighbors to at least tolerate me while I'm building up my monetary empire. We're going to go for Grey Eminence to boost our diplomacy. Diplomacy is one of my favorite starts, or one of my favorite focuses, because it opens a lot of doors. It allows you to avoid situations where you would have to pay gold, and frankly a lot of times the kingdom is being pushed by all the other nobles to open up to an elective monarchy, and elective monarchies generally go to the person with the highest diplomatic skill. So it actually gives you a second way to take power, because this guy is actually going to start off as a vassal. If you look in the right corner here, he's not an independent ruler, he's a vassal of the King of West Francia. So we're going to be using him in the start to protect us, but we're also going to be looking for ways to overthrow him, and having high diplomacy can be a really good help with that. Now you notice we're already age 33, and given that it's the Middle Ages, living longer than that is tedious at best. One trick that I do to get a few more points into my character build is I use the wounded trait. which means either riding a horse or off in battle, you were wounded. It affects your health, your martial, and your combat skills, but we're not building a warrior, so I'm not too worried about that. There's like a 1 in 4 chance that your wound's going to turn gangrenous and kill you within like the first 5 years, but usually it'll turn into a scar and we'll be okay. But we're going to use these extra points to top off our stewardship, because in order for the Flanders run to work, your people have to have sufficient stewardship to maintain all 6 of those counties simultaneously. And that does require a bit of stewardship on your part. Once your kingdom has expanded a little bit and developed a little more thoroughly, there are ways around that, and I will show you, because you can't always control who your next guy's, how good your heir is going to be. So there are ways to work around it, and we'll figure that out. Let's see if we can make a Scrooge character. Alright, we need some Scrooge eyes. Oh, those are some creepy eyes. Oh, there we go. That's almost villainous right there. I like it. Alright, let's see what we can do with the mouth here. Alright, yeah, he's a smug guy. You know, he's Scrooge McDuck. He's got all the money. Double chin, thin chin. We'll go with the thin chin. They have 4 kinds of necks. Really? Oh, it's a pencil neck. We're going for pencil neck. Okay, what kind of cheeks do they have? Why on earth would they have 11 kinds of cheeks? Who would even... Okay, we can go with that. Let's give me kind of an angular look there. I know they're not going to have any duck bills or anything, so we'll go with what we can. We want really wide ears. Ducks aren't really into ears. Eye color. We can go with night. There we go. I think that's a hazel, if I can tell. Yeah, hazel. Go for the green. Hairstyles. Let's see. What is Scrooge McDuck? What would a gold middle-aged billionaire have for a hairstyle? There we go. That's kind of... I'm rich, I'm famous, and I don't care what people think about me kind of a hairstyle. Hair color, let's see, he's supposed to be Celtic, so we'll go with a darker hair color. And beard. Alright, let's find a good beard that's something distinguished, something rich, and... Oh, wow, okay, we've got some options here. Alright, the handlebar mustache, the I never shave or trim or anything. Thicker handlebar mustache. The goatee. Okay, that's more of a trim, kind of a trim chin strap. It's like a duck with whiskers. Okay, that's alright. Well, you know what? I think just for the fun of it, where is the I never trim? There we go. Alright, he's rich. He doesn't have to carry about it. He's going with the neck beard. People are after him for his money, not his charm. Okay, so we've got 20 diplomacy, 15 stewardship. We're not going to be fighting personally, that's for sure. Intrigue and learning will level up a few points over time, but 38 is about as high an age as I would be willing to start at, because it's the Middle Ages and crap happens. We're also not starting married so that I can actually pick my wife. Thank you very much. And okay, I think we're just about ready to go. I think, let me see, I can show you, I think there's a list of the active DLCs that you have, or are they just going to try and show off my money? Okay, no, I guess not. Alright, let's go ahead and dive in. Alright, so this is the earliest, richest start you can get in the known world in Crusader Kings 2. Now, if you're going for a money run, there are a few things you got to keep in mind. You need that high stewardship. Right now you see I can only hold 4 units, 4 counties in my demesne. So my first priority will be getting that up to 6, because until then I can't expand and finish off the rest of my duchy. And that, unfortunately, is going to be Mr. Guinness there. His head is in my crosshairs. Alright, so let's take care of the marriage situation first. We want to set your ambition to getting married, because you get an extra bonus when you achieve your ambitions. So we set the ambition to get married, and then we go get married. Given that we need to bolster my stewardship and... Oh, this might work out, because we could use some more combat skills. If you've got enough money, you can get by without a whole lot of the intrigue. At least starting out, things are still fairly underdeveloped. Although I could also go with a Frankish wife, because she has a lot more diplomacy. That could be very helpful, because at first our focus is going to be more internal, right? We're putting gold into making more gold. So we need to be liked, and for people to leave us the heck alone. So we're going to go ahead and go with our Murrin. I'm still working on all these names. That's kind of the fun of a game that has such a huge scope, right? Because you get so much culture and so much geography, and I swear I learn more culture and language and stuff from this game than I ever did in high school. So we're going to settle down with a courtier of Ithar Connacha. That's up in Ireland. But I mean, 17 diplomacy and decent stewardship, even some combat skills. And you notice she is trusting, very humble, and very diligent. So that's all good. It's all good things. All good things. We're gonna select her. So that will take care of that. Now let's look at our open council positions. We need a chancellor. I mean, someone with a lot of charm. And as fate would have it, we have Hugbert, courtier in Flanders, and he also has quite a bit of diplomacy. And then we're going to check and make sure that we don't have a higher steward available. We do not. The only other option really hates my guts, so we're going to leave that alone. I don't think we're going to have anyone with higher spy skills, or oh, we do have someone with higher learning, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so let's adjust our minimap a little bit. We're going for a realms view, just so I can keep track of who's king of what. And then our first step will be to improve diplomatic relations with our king. Because right now the king he's going to be divvying up the duchies, right? He wants to maintain duchies, so he's going to assign vassalage to whoever has the largest majority of a duchy. So if he likes me enough, he's going to actually make this guy my minion. So I will technically already be in charge of this duchy, and I'll just have to take care of his titles with some creative flourishes of my own. And then for Marshal, we're going to go ahead and train troops in our capital because crap inevitably hits the fan. We're going to be collecting taxes in our capital. That's generally where you want to collect taxes because your capital gives you 25% more income than any other place in your realm. And then throwing your steward on top of that really tanks out your income. Now, given that we have a spy master that doesn't like us very much, we're going to give him the honorary title of Master of the Horse, try to boost that opinion a little bit. Our goal here, you can't really push your economy very much until you get these castle infrastructure or cities and temples and improved keeps. Those are the two that we need, right, in order to keep all of this moving. So we're hopefully going to be keeping our spy master spying and bringing us technology. You want to be careful who you spy from. For example, if we were to spy from Rome and he got caught, that would be bad. We're Catholic. We don't want the Pope coming after us. So we're ticking off the Arabs when we're already insulated up here. That's not too much of an issue. And then we're going to be doing, we don't really need to proselytize right now because everyone's the same religion. Improving religious relations is an option because once your vassals, I'll show you how that works real quick. With your vassals, when you get down to like the bishops, see, he likes the Pope by 33. He likes me by 2. So I'm not going to get any of the tithes of the income from the church because it's all going to the Pope because he likes the Pope more. And these guys are -25, -25, so I'm not going to be able to sway them anytime soon. So I'm not really worried about campaigning for them to like me, particularly because of the lifestyle I'm about to pick. So we're going to go with cultural tech and try to get my culture developing quicker. Let's see, so last we've got pick a character focus. So our character focus for this start is going to be stewardship. Notice that's going to increase my stewardship skills, which I'm hoping will bump me up along with my wife to holding 6 units of Dimazine, and that way I can go ahead and take over the other 2 counties and run all of Flanders. Also, we're hoping we're going to get the city vassal opinion up by 20, and that's going to make these mayors really like me and pay me their income, or at least a percentage of it. Alright, so we have an alert here. Special minor titles grantable. Oh, we do not have a regent. We can do that real quick. So let's go ahead and find a regent, which is usually someone with a significant amount of stewardship, diplomacy, and maybe some military. You have to watch out for that ambitious feat, though. If you give people that are ambitious too much power, they can generally try to stab you in the back. So we're going to put someone that's Midas touched in charge as a regent. That seems like a good bet to me. And then I could have sworn... There we go, yeah. Okay, so our marshal, we actually have a really good marshal. 18 skill is very good, particularly for this early in the game. This early in the game, units, countries, kingdoms haven't quite developed yet, so a lot of their stats are still pretty small. So you notice I have de jure claims on both of these realms because I have the duchy title of Flanders. So what usually happens in the start, if the king likes you, is he goes ahead and gives you the vassalage of this guy, and that gives you, technically, the duchy. So we're going to see what happens. We're going to go ahead and crank this thing up. We're going to start off on 3 bars of speed. 5 is the fastest, but we're going to start off a little slow just to get everything going. So King Karl of West Francia has transferred the vassalage of Count Hermenelde of Guinness to Duke Scrooge of Flanders. Alright, and he's decided to institute limited crown authority, which I'm fine with. If the authority gets too high, you will not be able to attack other dukes, so you do want to watch out for that. And, oh yes, my marriage has gone through. Murrian and Duke Scrooge. Alright, we can choose between either getting gold, taxing everyone for our wedding, or we cover it ourselves and instead we make prestige. Given that we are Scrooge McDuck, it's gold. And, oh yeah, it's funny how these notices kind of show up out of order. So this is the note from her father saying, why yes, we'd love for her to get married, after I've already, you know, paid for everything. Okay. Alright, I have fulfilled the ambition of getting married, so let's see what we can do next. Given that my diplomacy is through the roof, I'm thinking we could go for Chancellor, but we just got a note from the King. So, aha, he's appointing me to Chancellor. So remember, if we are setting the ambition first, so that when I accept and I gain it, then I get the bonuses from achieving your ambition. I think there's some money, some experience. I haven't quite figured all that out yet. So, okay, we've fulfilled the ambition to become Chancellor. We set another ambition, which can either be a daughter or money, and we are Scrooge, so it's gonna be the money. We're going for the money. Now, I went ahead and paused it because suddenly everyone is up in arms and I'm not sure why. So, okay, so my wife has arrived at court, and, alright, contracts to being Chancellor. So what's going on here? We've got the Umad Holy War for Gascony. Oh, geez. Okay, so we're in the middle of a holy war. That's going to be fun. Let's see. So these guys are coming. Yep, coming from down here. Alright, so these guys are going to be gathering all the troops they can and hitting us for the Duchy of Gascony. And I think I would have to switch to a duchy view to get a better idea of where they're targeting. But the general idea is we can kind of choose now if we're going to be sitting in the background and not helping and just putting all of our money and all of our wealth into taking care of our own business, or if we're going to be trying to swing the tide. So given that we've got, I hate to, it's not worth it to take 100 vassals and risk them not liking me and not paying me taxes. So I could commit, we'll go ahead and see how much that costs. Okay, so if I commit my demesne, that's only 6 gold a month, and I'm still making 3 then, because that's going to be subtracted from my monthly balance. So we're going to go ahead and give that a shot. Combine them, and while we're passing the time waiting for our income to go up so that we can start upgrading our castle, we're going to do a little bit of banditry and see what we can do. Alright, so we have limited crown authority in place, which is not a bad thing. And alright, let's make sure we've got the best guys possible running the show, because I should have, where is my, there we go, oh geez. So usually you can send your marshal to war, but because I recently assigned him a job, he's going to be stuck at that for another 3 months. So this is what we're at. We're basically, for this, I'm not expecting to go in and slaughter all the bad guys, and what the heck, why am I already dealing with a hugely dangerous faction? Oh, well, hello. That is a more urgent issue. Elective succession in Flanders. Okay, so we're going to actually go back home, because if that gets any higher, he's going to threaten us with war, and that is going to ruin my perfect day. We're going to borrow 300 gold from Jewish merchants, and then if he happens to have more troops, we're buying some troops of our own to top things off. Unfortunately, I already sent my spy master out. I didn't think this situation with my neighbor was going to get this bad this quickly, so I can't even bring my spy master in to manipulate this guy for another 3 months. So let's crank up the time and see how we're doing, because at this percentage, it's likely he's going to challenge me, and if I say no, it'll break out into a civil war. So I just went into debt with the Jews to get myself a little extra cash, And I've got my Demoscene parked right on top of him, so with a little bit of luck, we might be able to stomp on his face beforehand. Come on now. You went through all the trouble to gather all these guys to try and usurp my power. If you're gonna start a fight, let's do it. Come on, I'm ready. No? No? Oh, go big or go home, right? So this option here is I can revoke his title, which will make him hate me, but all my other vassals will hate me by 15. So you want to check and make sure. So my mayors, like these guys, are all above 15, and these are the ones that I want to make sure like me, because they're the ones paying my bills. So I would lose one mayor if I were to take this guy's title, but he's got quite a few troops. If I could take even one of those titles, that would cut his troops in half. Uh-oh. Okay, so my chancellor, while trying to suck up to the king, has actually ticked off one of his mayors. I'm not too worried about the mayor not liking me. So my mayor's not going to like me? What is he doing sweet-talking my mayor? He's supposed to be sweet-talking the king. I don't approve. Okay, well, let's see what we can do about this. Well, I guess while everyone's at war, and if he has any packs in the area, they won't be able to help him. So we're going to take one of his titles, and that will cut his troop numbers in half for me to hit him again later. Let's see. Oh, yep, Civil War. Here we go. So, oh, he's got 200, so let's try and crush him before he can gather any more troops. Alright, come on. We outnumber him 3-1. We should be good. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. I made a mistake. So I forgot when I first started to make it so my king never goes to war. Like, he doesn't actually fight himself. And because I forgot to do that, he went off into battle with like a martial skill of 3. So I have a moment where I can try and challenge this guy to battle. I can duel him myself, but I am a worse dueler than him, which means I'm likely to die. Or I am maimed and severely injured and dealing with some serious crap. So I have a son, technically, and I would still be able to... Yeah, sure, why not? Let's see. Fingers crossed. I'll duel him myself. I was chasing him over the plains when Mayor Teobert shoved me aside, barking, "I'll take this one, my lord," clumsily swinging his short sword. I hope he did not hurt himself. The mayor did poorly in the duel, so I actually lost a mayor, maybe, instead of myself. We shall see. Yeah, it's kind of funny when you get in these internal conflicts. Oh, that could be... oh, geez. Okay, so this is where we're going to be using that extra money that I borrowed from the Jews, which is we're going to mercenaries. We're going to do 150, and boom, 1,500 troops to back me up. I will probably lose this fight before the troops get there, but reinforcements are on the way. Okay, so my troops lost, but my mercenaries are coming, and they are tanked out. So come on, clean up my mess. Alright, we're going to go ahead and up the speed a little bit, because you notice the mercenaries start with this... Oh, wait, whoa, okay. Wife wants a bird. I will keep my wife happy and get a little more diplomacy. There we go, got him. Okay, I had to wait until the morale, which is the left green bar, of my mercenaries was high enough to actually be useful. And then we're going to crush this guy. Okay, there we go. Alright, this is why you go into debt. Alright, so we beat him back, and then we're going to siege both of his counties simultaneously while his troops are off running for their lives. Alright, there we go. Okay, Chancellor's doing his job now. Yeah, make sure the king likes me. Yeah, brought me up to 22. Okay, that's good, because technically I'm not participating in his war, which he might not appreciate. Alright, we're going to go ahead and stomp on this guy again, and that will... Excellent. Okay, yeah, mercenaries are fantastic. Lots of moolah there. We're at a 40% victory. Once you get up to 100, you can demand that they give in to your demands and give you all their stuff. All the stuff that you wanted at the start of the fight. If we're at between like 50 and 70, we can go for a white piece, which is kind of a draw. And below that, not really. Okay, so We're going to go ahead and finish off this country here. I'm having a little bit of hard time. Well, that's annoying. Because this town here, this upper country is so small that there's not enough food in the countryside to feed larger forces. But now there is. Okay, that's just weird. Whatever. Alright, let's just... Oh, I see. That symbol there means that there's not enough troops to actually lay siege to that fortress. They have too many troops inside. So these guys aren't actually really doing anything. They're just kind of sitting there. Okay, Scrooge McDuck. If there is a God, why is the world filled with hardships, grief, and heretics? Yeah, that is kind of a Scrooge McDuck kind of point of view, isn't it? Okay, so we have the option of possibly becoming zealous, which would probably help our situation with our local bishops. That we would like their money if we can get it. Or we can become cynical. Now, cynical will give you less piety, but it does give you more intrigue, and my intrigue truly does suck. But it also makes my church opinion worse. So it makes it even harder for me to suck up to the religious sources in the game. But we're going to go ahead and go for cynical, because this is Scrooge, and he's, as long as his mayors like him, the people that are paying his bills, he doesn't really care. It is good tradition to have some gossip around a pregnant woman in order to keep her calm and distracted. I did not realize my wife was pregnant. Wow, I really must be Scrooge. I don't even know what's going on in my family life. But we're going to go ahead and dispatch some maids to keep her, make sure she's happy and content, and that'll boost her health, which should help her pregnancy. It'll boost her opinion of me. You want your wife to like you. Otherwise, other people that want you dead have a really easy way to make that happen. And it'll cost me a little bit of gold, but I'm Scrooge. I have plenty of money. Money is not an issue. Alright, victory. There we go. Alright, so he's at 100% now. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to enforce our demands. He is going to be my prisoner. The war against the tyranny of Duke Scrooge has ended, and I won. That's right, because I'm an awesome tyrant. Alright, so first off, you always want to remember to dismiss. After military stuff, you dismiss, because particularly if you've got mercenaries, they are expensive, and if you forget to stop hiring them, they will suck your coffers dry. Now we get to the fun stuff. Alright, so I go to intrigue. I go to prisoners. I have two... Alright, because one of these guys I got in the course of the battle. So one of them has the titles that I want, and that is this guy. So since he is a traitor, they will not object to me taking that title. And since he is a traitor, no one will object to me taking title number 2. So now I've got both those titles. This guy, I don't think I can revoke. Oh, he's a bishop. Alright, and see, he's technically not a traitor. Technically, he sided with my enemy, but through vassalage and whatnot, he wasn't actively, openly revolting against me. So if I take his title, everyone will hate me, including my bishop, my mayors. So we don't want that. We want them to like me and pay me. But we can ransom this guy for 25 gold, which sounds perfectly reasonable to me. All right, I think that was probably one of the best starts for that particular run that I've ever seen. We're only a half hour in, and we've already got both of the counties we were lacking in order to take over the entire Duchy of Flanders. So I'm excited to see how we do in the next couple of episodes as we build up our McDuck financial empire. If you guys enjoyed this content so far, feel free to like and subscribe. Also, comment down below. Let me know, what's your guys' favorite start? Do you guys prefer to go martial and just go with military might? Do you go with diplomacy and try and create as many titles and ties as you can with other nobles? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Take care.